Bhagavad-gītā, chapter 9, text 27. Yat karoṣi yad aśnāsi, yad juhoṣi dadāsi yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kuruṣva mad-arpaṇam. Yat, whatever. Karoṣi, you do. Yat, whatever. Aśnāsi, you eat. Yat, whatever. Juhoṣi, you offer. Dadāsi, you give away. Yat, whatever. Yat, whatever. Tapasyasi, austerities. Austerities you perform. Kaunteya, O son of Kuntī. Tat, that. Kuruṣva, do. Mat, unto me. Arpaṇam, as an offering. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kuntī, as an offering to me. Please repeat: whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kuntī, as an offering to me. Purport. Thus, it is the duty of everyone to mold his life in such a way that he will not forget Kṛṣṇa in any circumstance. Everyone has to work for maintenance of his body and soul together, and Kṛṣṇa recommends herein that one should work for him. Everyone has to eat something to live, therefore he should accept the remnants of foodstuffs offered to Kṛṣṇa. Any civilized man has to perform some religious ritualistic ceremonies, therefore Kṛṣṇa recommends, do it for me, and this is called archana. Everyone has a tendency to give something in charity. Kṛṣṇa says, give it to me. And this means that all surplus money accumulated should be utilized in furthering the Kṛṣṇa consciousness movement. Nowadays, people are very much inclined to the meditational process, which is not practical in this age. But if anyone practices meditating on Kṛṣṇa 24 hours a day by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra around his beads, he is surely the greatest meditator and the greatest yogi, as substantiated by the 6th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā. This verse is the essence of how to mold our life. So whatever we do, eat, drink, give away, austerities we perform, whatever it is, it has to be done for the pleasure of the Lord. And how to do it for the pleasure of the Lord? Oh Kṛṣṇa, I am doing this for you. What does that mean even? It is not that I just go out to work and then I say, I am doing this for you, Kṛṣṇa. How are you doing this for Kṛṣṇa? Doing it for Kṛṣṇa is not an abstract thing, just whimsically manufactured in the brain. Doing it for Kṛṣṇa means doing it for his cause. What is his cause? What is his motive? What is Kṛṣṇa's motive when he comes? In the Bhagavad-gītā, we have this famous verse, two verses, 4.7 and 4.8. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir-bhavati bharata abhyutthānam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Dharmasya glanir-bhavati yada abhyutthānam adharmasya tada atmanam srijamyaham. So, whenever there is a decline, dharmasya glani means, when there is glani means there is a decline. Dharmasya glani happens. Yada yada means whenever there is a dharmasya glani bhavati happens. Abhyuthanam adharmasya, an inordinate rise in adharmasya. Abhyuthanam means predominance. Then tada means at that time. Atmanam srijamyaham. So I manifest or I descend into this material world. Avatar. He comes into this material world. So what does he do? Okay, whenever there is decline, he comes. Then what does he do? That is the next. 4:8. Paritrāṇāya sadhūnām vināṣāya ca duṣkrtāṃ dharma samsthapanārthāya sambhavāmi yuge yuge. So the Mahabharata serial, these two verses they put there. People do not know even the meaning sometimes. So Paritrāṇāya sadhūnām, to protect the devotees. To protect the devotees means not just when somebody is attacking, he will protect. Protect devotees at all levels. Physically, mentally, spiritually. And not only for the time being that he is there, but for the time even much after. Like for example now, Kṛṣṇa has come 5,000 years ago and spoke the Bhagavad-gītā to protect the devotees now. Now you are sitting here hearing Bhagavad-gītā and reading Bhagavad-gītā. Is that not protection? Because then we can be guided properly in life. So he works when he says Paritrāṇāya sadhūnām, it is not limited by time. Oh, he was here for 125 years. At that time he protected devotees like Draupadi, he gave sari, and that is not the only protection he gave. Protection at all levels. And he is still protecting sadhūnām. It is not that after he is gone, now all sadhus are, okay, go to hell. No, they are still protected. Vināṣāya ca duṣkrtāṃ, destroy the miscreants, the demons. Demons means those who are against the law. Dvau bhuta sargau lokesmin daiva asura evacha vishnu bhakta sprito daiva asurastad viparyayah. Dvau bhuta sargau lokesmin, two types of living entities are there in this world. Daiva and asura. Godly and the demoniac. Vishnu bhakta smrito daiva. Whoever are Vishnu bhaktas, they are godly people. Asuras tad viparyaya. Anybody who is not a devotee of Vishnu is an asura. He can be a greatest devotee of demigods, devatas, like even Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma and Durga also. But still he will be counted among the asuras if he is not a devotee of Vishnu. We have examples. Hiranyakashipu was a great devotee of Brahma. Ravana was a great devotee of Shiva. Still they were counted among asuras. They were not counted among devotees. But you will never find a devotee of Vishnu who is called an asura. Even if he was an asura, when he becomes devotee, he will become a bhakta, daiva. Prahlad Maharaj, he was born of an asura. But because he was devotee of Vishnu, he is a devotee, no more asura. Bali Maharaj, same. In the descendants of asuras, he was born. Vritrasura, another example. Vritrasura also, maybe many of you do not know. In the Bhagavatam it is mentioned. Chitraketu, out of curse, he became Vritrasura. And he also, because he was a Vishnu devotee, he was greater than even Indra. He was teaching Indra on the battlefield. As he was fighting with Indra, he was teaching him about devotional service. Quite unique example in the world. He was fighting as an enemy with Indra. And Indra did not have as much faith as Vritrasura had. Because actually Chitraketu, he was a devotee. And out of curse by Parvati, he became a demon. But internally he was still a devotee. So he was, demons, they always fight with the devatas. Devasura fight is always happening. So Vritrasura was fighting with Indra. And Vritrasura was so strong. Even Thunderbolt could not, defeat him. So at one point, his weapon fell. Actually, let me take that out. He had faith. Indra did not have the faith. What is that chapter? 6:11, is it? I want that fight where he is taunting Indra. 12? 12:6. Having dropped the thunderbolt from his hand in the presence of his enemy, Indra was practically defeated and was very much ashamed. He dared not pick up his weapon again. Vritrasura, however, encouraged him, saying, "Take up your thunderbolt and I am to lament your fate." Kill your enemy means who's the enemy? Himself was the enemy. Because he was waiting to die, Vritrasura. Because once he dies, his curse will be over. But he was not just going to stand there and die like that. He was going to put up a valiant fight. And he wanted Indra to kill him, but Indra was no match for him. And he was even fearing, he did not even have faith in. Then you see what he says. Vritrasura continued, "O Indra, no one is guaranteed of being always victorious but the original enjoyer, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. He is the cause of creation, maintenance, and annihilation, and he knows everything. Being dependent and being obliged to accept material bodies, belligerent subordinates are sometimes victorious and sometimes defeated." He is preaching to Indra as he was fighting him. Look at Vritrasura. All living beings in all the planets of this universe, including the presiding deities of all the planets, are fully under the control of the Lord. They work like birds caught in a net who cannot move independently. Okay, then he's preaching all these things. Then at one point he taunts. Okay, this is also about how Krishna is the controller of everyone. He's preaching on the battlefield, with the enemy. Preaching to the enemy, you can imagine. This is the heart of a Vaishnava. He actually does not have any enmity towards even his enemies. Like Arjuna, he was not actually angry with Duryodhana. He did not want to even kill him. Krishna asked him to kill him, so okay, I will kill you. Out of duty they do it. Even Bhishma Dev, he was fighting against the Pandavas. He was not hating the Pandavas, but according to duty, as a Kshatriya, he had to fight. So he was fighting as a matter of duty, but he had no hatred within. And he preaches all these things, and what is that? Can you? Indra was disturbed by how powerful Vritrasura was. So Vritrasura is pacifying him. Don't be so agitated. I'm sure to die. I will not be always victorious. Oh, my enemy, just look at me. I have already been defeated. For my weapon and arm have been cut to pieces. You have already overwhelmed me. But you nonetheless with you overwhelm me, but nonetheless with a desire to kill you, I am trying my best to fight. I am not at all morose, even under such adverse conditions. Therefore, you should give up your moroseness and continue fighting. He was already wounded, hand gone, everything. He was almost dead, but still he could not match. Indra could not match him. He said, "Why are you morose? I am not morose." Oh, my enemy, consider this battle a gambling match in which our lives are the stakes, the arrows are the dice, the animals acting as carriers are the game board. No one can understand who will be defeated and who will be victorious. It all depends on providence. Hearing the straightforward, instructive words of Vritrasura, King Indra praised him and again took the thunderbolt in his hand. Without bewilderment or duplicity, he then smiled and spoke to Vritrasura as follows. "O great demon," Indra said, "I see by your discrimination and endurance in devotional service, despite your dangerous position, that you are a perfect devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul, and the friend of everyone." So he was even appreciating his enemy, Indra, you see. "You have surmounted the illusory energy of Lord Vishnu, and because of this liberation, you have given up the demoniac mentality and have attained the position of an exalted devotee." This is the point I am trying to make. Even though he is born in a demoniac family, but because he is a devotee of Vishnu, he is greater than even Indra. O Vritrasura, demons are generally conducted by the modes of passion. Therefore, what a great wonder it is that although you are a demon, you have adopted the mentality of a devotee and have fixed your mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, who is always situated in pure goodness. A person fixed in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord Hari, the Lord of the highest auspiciousness, swims in the ocean of nectar. For him, what is the use of the water in small ditches? Was it this 612.5 where he says, Actually, I want to show that verse. I don't know if who can help me. Where he says, this thunderbolt was given to you by Vishnu. Therefore, it will act. There is no way that it will not act on me. So please have faith in Vishnu. So please use that and kill me. He tells that. That is exactly what I wanted to show. So that's how he's, how much faith he has in Vishnu. The point I'm trying to make is Daiva and Asura. Whoever is Vishnu Bhakta, he is immediately a Daiva. He commands the respect of even the Devatas in the heavens. Even Devatas are not as pure devotees as the pure devotees of Krishna. They're not as pure. They have still material desires. Indra has material desires. But pure devotees no. So two kinds of people are there in this world. So the godly are those who try to become, or who are devotees of the Lord and who try to become pure devotees. Now, for such people, Krishna is instructing. Yat karoṣi, yad aśnāsi, yad juhoṣi, dadāsi, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kuruṣva mad-arpaṇam. Not yat karoṣi means whatever you do. And whatever you do means what? Vaidiki, laukiki, chape. What is that? So Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. लौकिकी वैदिकी वापि या क्रिया क्रियते मुने हरिसेवानुकूलैव सा कार्या भक्तिमिच्छता. Is it independently mentioned anywhere? A devotee may act as an ordinary human being or as a strict follower of Vedic injunction. In either case, everything he does is favorable for the advancement of devotional service because he is in Krishna consciousness. So, Laukika 6:11:19. O king of the demigods, since I, your enemy, am standing before you, why don't you hurl your thunderbolt at me? Although your attack upon me with your club was certainly useless, like a request of money from a miser, the thunderbolt you carry will not be useless. You see, he's taunting and so what he's doing is, Indra, you have no power to kill me. Your attack, you thought you did a big mighty attack, but it was useless. Like a request of money from a miser, you will not get anything. Like that it was. But the thunderbolt you carry will not be useless because it is given by Vishnu. I have no faith in your strength. I have full faith in Vishnu's strength. You need have no doubts about this. You see, when King Indra threw his club at Vritrasura caught it in his left hand and retaliated by using it to strike the head of Indra's elephant. Thus, Indra's attack was a disastrous failure. Indeed, Indra's elephant was injured and thrown back 14 yards. Therefore, even though Indra stood with the thunderbolt to hurl against Vritrasura, he was doubtful, thinking that the thunderbolt might also fail. Vritrasura, however, being a Vaishnava, assured Indra that the thunderbolt would not fail, for Vritrasura knew that it had been prepared in accordance with the instructions of Lord Vishnu. Although Indra had doubts because he could not understand that Lord Vishnu's order never fails, Vritrasura understood Lord Vishnu's purpose. Vritrasura was eager to be killed by the thunderbolt manufactured according to Lord Vishnu's instructions because he was sure that he would thus return home back to Godhead. He was simply waiting for the opportunity of the thunderbolts being released. In effect, therefore, Vritrasura told Indra, if you want to kill me, since I am your enemy, take this opportunity, kill me. You will gain victory and I shall go back to Godhead. Your deed will be equally beneficial for both of us. Do it immediately. Look at him. Where can you find this kind of unique example, a blend of straightforwardness, purity, valiance, and at the same time, trash talk, everything, all the banter that went between them, everything, it's a wholesome mixture of everything. So, and it is very pleasurable to hear also because it is related with Vishnu and with full self-realization it was spoken. You see? So this is the conversation of devotee is always enlightening. So Laukiki, Vaidiki. Vaidiki means Vedic activities, those which are prescribed in the Vedas. Or Laukiki means in this loka, worldly activities, ordinary worldly activities. So Laukiki, Vaidiki, Vapi, Ya Kriya, what is that? Ya Kriya Kriyate Mune, whatever is done, whether worldly activities or religious injunctions, Hari Sevanukulaiva Sakarya Bhakti Michata. If they are done for the purpose of Vishnu, it is called bhakti. So sometimes, um, religious activities include, doing some, havan, or, some religious, or even dressing the deities and, organizing festival. And even in organizing festival, sometimes some of the activities look like, worldly. For example, we have to get some police permits for conducting Rath Yatra and all that. You go to an ordinary office and do something. Others also are coming there to do their own things. It looks like a worldly activity. Or you are purchasing vegetables or flowers, or doing something which looks ordinary. But if it is done for Krishna, that is bhakti michhata. So yat karoṣi means whatever you do, means whether laukiki or vaidiki. Ya kriya kriyate mune hari sevanukulaiva sakarya bhakti michhata. What is that? Anukulyena Kṛṣṇānuṣīlanam. What is the first line? Anyabhilashita. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavritam anukulyena Kṛṣṇānuṣīlanam bhaktiruttama. When first class devotional service develops, one must be devoid of all material desires, knowledge obtained by monastic philosophy, and fruitive action. The devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires. So, anukulyena Kṛṣṇānuṣīlanam. So, everything has to be for Kṛṣṇānuṣīlanam, for the satisfaction of Krishna. So, when we have to give our money, when we do, the point I was trying to make is, whatever we do, we have to do it for Krishna. So, how to do that? So, what we are doing in our laukiki activities, our worldly activities, many of you are working a job, right? So, the fruits of such action. Somebody told me, I think a couple of 2-3 years back, that somebody interpreted the previous verse, which is Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati Tadam Bhakti Pahritam aśnāmi prayatātmanaha. Of course, the straightforward meaning is quite simple. That whatever, like patram, leaf, flower, fruit, water, if offered with devotion, I will accept it. So that is regarding the food, right? I don't know who told me this, but I haven't checked it. That somebody interpreted that patram, pushpam, phalam refer to one's, like phalam, what is that? Karma phala. The fruits of one's actions. And the patram, like 15th chapter, what is that? The tree of work. The chandamsi yasya paranani. Paranani means leaves. The Vedic mantras are considered the leaves of the tree of fruitive work. And also dharmadrumasya. What is that? Krishna nama. That verse from Padyavali. The tree of devotion. The roots. Of course, the Krishna, what is that? Krishna Bhakti Moola. What is that? Hoy Sadhu Sangha. The association of devotees is the root. And from the tree, we get leaves, we get fruits, we get flowers. Flowers can be the artistic offerings of a devotee. Phala is the, what is that? The fruits of one's work. And patra is the prayers, chandamsi, yasya paranani. So all these things, and water is of course the sustenance of the whole thing. The tree. So in this way, somebody interpreted. But even if you take it that way, the tree has all these parts, and the water which sustains everything, it takes from the ground. So that all has to be offered to Krishna. So anukulyena Krishnanushīlanam, and what is that? Yajñasishtāshinah santo muchyante sarvakilbishaihi bhunjate te tvagham papa ye pachanti atmakaranat. Our sustenance, like for the tree, the sustenance is the water and of course sunlight and everything. For us, it's the food. So it has to be offered to Krishna and then taken. Devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin. So to offer our results to Krishna means to offer our results for the mission of the Lord. And what is the mission? Just now we saw paritrāṇaya sadhūnām vināṣāya duṣkratāṃ dharma samsthāpana arthāya. Dharma samsthāpana. So this is the real mission of the Lord, to establish religious principles. Because only by religious principles can we actually make our life successful. Dharmo vittam nirnam pretya. Nobody takes anything from this world, we all know, right? But we actually do take something. We take our balance sheet. Just like every month there is a, what is it called? No. What is it? The balance goes over to the next month. What is it called? Carry forward. So, like that, we carry forward our assets and liabilities. Dharmo vittam nirnam pretya. Our assets are our dharma. Our liabilities are our karma. Whatever we do, if we do something devotional service, that is our asset. That will, that is what we will take after that. It's not that we came naked, we go naked materially, yes, body-wise. But the soul, along with the subtle body, he takes the stock of his sinful and pious activities and transcendental activities as well. So, neha bhikramanashosti pratyavayo navidyate svalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even a little advancement in Krishna consciousness, if I suppose only do 2% of Krishna consciousness in this life, I have not surrendered 100%, 2% I did. Next life I will start from 3. Even materially, why do you think some children are like prodigy, like they're very good at, say, some musical instrument or singing or some martial arts or some art? They will exceptional talent from, like 2-3 years old, they're expert. Where did that come from? Carry over. Whether that is good or bad, that is another thing. How we will use it, it all matters. So the thing is, we carry these things. So dharmo vittam. Vittam means wealth. The wealth that we take away from here is our dharma. So we have to work in such a way that our assets are as much as possible. We always try to increase our bank balance, right? We do investing, we do, depositing, what is that? All kinds of financial instruments, they will know. Banking sector. They want to increase our assets and to have better return on investment. This is the best investment. But we do not know these things. That is our problem. That's why knowledge should be there. We only can act on the basis of our convictions. And if our conviction is in the material world, then we will be cheated. And even though you may become a billionaire, everybody knows every single billionaire has died. Nobody lasted. And you cannot take his billions with him. Why then? Why then we want to chase these things? Some people say, no, I don't want to become billionaire. I just want to, have enough. But that will never stop. It will never stop. So, dharma samsthapana is what we have to contribute for. People nowadays go to Tirupati and put in the hundi, richest temple in India, right? And you know what happens with that money? Dharma samsthapan going on. No, it's going to the state funds, and from there siphoned out. People are getting big fat. What is that? Corruption is going on with that money. Yes, no dharma prachar is going on with that money. Therefore, one should not contribute there. Or if you want to contribute, make sure that they are actually doing the work of dharma samsthapana. Where is that going on? Just because some temple is there, okay, I put it in the hundi. You at least ensure where it is going. At least be clear where it is going. It is being siphoned out by the government, and government is so-called secular. So-called secular. They will interfere with the money of the temple, but not in anything else. Other things, to spread the dharma, nothing. That is going on in India right now. Money they want, and none of that money goes to the actual upkeep of the temple or for the dharma prachar. Nothing. One should contribute to the movement where they are actually preaching the message. What is the use if we just have some temple as a business? And to get more people to the temple, they put all kinds of Devi, Devata, everything in the temple, so that whoever likes whichever, whatever, so a supermarket to come and, Yeah, they're doing that. It's like a supermarket of gods. There is no philosophy anymore. No teaching of the philosophy, and no acting on the philosophy also. What will people learn? All the idea I had about temple before joining Krishna consciousness was, you have to go to a temple, sit down there, must sit down. You should not just stand and take darshan and come back. You must sit down at least for a few seconds. You must sit down. Why? Who knows? That's why the other day I was saying, the point, the reason behind such sitting down is to sit down and listen to the Krishna Katha. We have to engage our ears, not our butt. Let's be honest. What is the use of, So, so this is the kind of useless, just meaningless rituals, meaningless customs we are following without any actual profit. So we should be knowing what we are doing. So yat karoṣi, dharma samsthapan, wherever is going on, there you should contribute. And that is what our International Sri Krishna Mandir here is doing. Ours is dharma samsthapana program. We may not have the structure, the gopuram as other temples. Some people say, oh, your temple is in a flat, is it? Flat. Okay. I'll put 3 stars review, Google review there. Nice, but flat. So yeah, if Krishna gives us, we will have a place. But no matter where we are, even if under the tree, in Kali Yuga, as Kali Yuga progresses, we will not have much facilities because governments will become more and more atheistic. So we will not have facilities more and more. Wherever, however it is done, we have to support that. And support means not that Dharma Samsthapan requires some support. We require support of Dharma Samsthapan. We require support of Dharma. So if we contribute our artha towards Dharma, then we will become purified. What is that? Nehayat karma dharmaya. नेह यत्कर्म धर्माय न विरागाय कल्पते न तीर्थपद सेवाय जीवन्नपि मृतो हि सः. Anyone whose work is not meant to elevate him to religious life, work must elevate him to religious life. That means the fruit of his work should be offered to religious cause, not any religious cause, for dharma samsthapana. Anyone whose religious, ritualistic performances do not raise him to renunciation, first, Anyone whose work is not meant to elevate him to religious life, and if one is already in religious life, if his religious performances do not raise him to renunciation, and if he is actually in renunciation, if that does not lead him to devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he must be considered dead although he is breathing. That means he is not improving from where he is. He is just stagnant. And stagnant, it doesn't work. In the material world, there is no such thing as stagnant. If you are stagnant, you will be pulled down. Try, swimming upstream. Swimming upstream. Once you stop swimming, you will go downstream. That's it. Stagnant means once our effort is zero, nature will take its own effort, and will glide us down. Gravity always pulls us down, right? Gravity does not pull us up. So this material world gravitates towards tamasic. So by nature, it is easier to do things which are tamasic. Destruction is tamasic. To destroy anything is very easy. Construction is very difficult. Maintenance is even more difficult. Right? So maintenance requires goodness. Construction or creation requires passion. And destruction requires ignorance. Anything destructive, very easy to do. Doesn't take much effort. So it's easy to go down that path. So let's see here what Narad Muni is saying. Yadatra kriyate karma bhagavat paritoshanam jnanam yattadadhinam hi bhakti yoga samanvitam. Whatever work is done here in this life for the satisfaction of the mission of the Lord is called bhakti yoga, or transcendental loving service to the Lord. And what is called knowledge becomes a concomitant factor. Once we engage in actual devotional service, knowledge will become a concomitant factor. Means we will automatically get knowledge. The realizations, Kṛṣṇa in the heart, he will enlighten us as we are engaging more and more in devotional service. The more and more we realize the importance of Kṛṣṇa consciousness, the futility of material endeavors, everything all together. This is actual knowledge. If one is very eager for materialistic activities, he is not in knowledge. He is in ignorance. The general and popular notion is that by discharging fruitive work in terms of the directions of the scriptures, one becomes perfectly able to acquire transcendental knowledge for spiritual realization. Bhakti Yoga is considered by some to be another form of karma. But factually, Bhakti Yoga is above both karma and jnana. Bhakti Yoga is independent of jnana or karma. On the other hand, jnana and karma are dependent on Bhakti Yoga. This Kriya Yoga or Karma Yoga, as recommended by Sri Narada to Vyasa, is specifically recommended because the principle is to satisfy the Lord. The Lord does not want his sons, the living beings, to suffer the threefold miseries of life. He desires that all of them come to him and live with him. But going back to Godhead means that one must purify himself from material infections. If we have to go back to the pure spiritual world, we have to become pure. Otherwise, we are not admitted there. We are not qualified. When work is performed, therefore, to satisfy the Lord, the performer becomes gradually purified from the material affection. This purification means attainment of spiritual knowledge. What does this purification means? Attainment of spiritual knowledge. Oh, it is not that it is, not, what is that word? Able to validate. Able to check. What is that called? It's not that it's inexaminable or cannot be examined. We can test. We can test whether we are actually becoming purified or not. Oh, I am doing this, so therefore I am becoming purified. But I don't know whether actually I am becoming purified because Shastra says maybe I am becoming purified. No, there is just like when you're eating, you know your hunger is being satisfied. You know that you're getting strength. You know, and especially today Ekadashi, everybody will realize this. Fasting. So when you eat, your strength will come back, especially tomorrow morning for those who are doing Nirjala. So, so we will know whether we are getting strength, whether we are getting nourishment, we know. So similarly, when we are becoming purified, we will know. How we will know? What is the symptom that we are becoming purified? Here, this purification means attainment of spiritual knowledge. Life becomes very clear. Doubts become dispelled. There is no more doubt. One is very clear about what is life, what is correct, what is wrong. He is crystal clear about everything. What should be done, what should not be done. There is no doubts. Whereas, for a person who is not so purified, who is in the Rajasic and Tamasic platform, he doesn't know what is what. He sometimes gets bewildered whether this is right or wrong. And those who are in Tamasic, this is Rajasic. Tamasic, they take the right to be wrong convincingly. This is wrong. This Hare Krishna is nonsense. And having materialistic, hedonistic life, that is life. He is convinced in the opposite way. And that is actually explained. This is all shown this many times. प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च कार्याकार्ये भयाभये बंधं मोक्षं च या व्यक्ति बुद्धिः सा पार्थ सात्विकी. Those who are sattvic, not only food is sattvic. Oh, sattvic stamp. India started some sattvic stamp of food, right? Sattvic is not just food, everything. So Bhagavad-gītā we can understand. So what is a sattvic person? How is his understanding? O son of Pritha, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating, is in the mode of goodness. So he is very clear about what is the aim of life, and he is very clear about his priorities in accordance with that aim. Some people are very clear in their priorities, completely distorted. We're not talking about them. About what ought to be feared and what ought not to be feared. What is to be done and what is not. So he's very clear about this. Now, next. Yaya dharmam adharmam cha karyam chakaryam eva cha ayathavat prajanati buddhihi sapartha rajasi. Ayathavat, yatha, yatharup, our Bhagavad-gītā is called yatharup in Hindi. In Bengali, jata jata. So, in Telugu, yatha tathamo. That means as it is. Yatha tatham. Here, ayatha, not as it is. That means he doesn't understand in the correct way. What is that? Rajasic person. O son of Pritha, that understanding which cannot distinguish between religion and irreligion, between action that should be done and action that should not be done, is in the mode of passion. Classic example, Shirdi Sai Baba. Second richest temple in India, Shirdi Sai Baba temple, after Tirupati. Who is this Shirdi Sai Baba? From where did he come? How did he become God? God must be mentioned in the scripture. He is neither one of the devatas nor the Supreme Lord. None. He was a Muslim man. That was what he was. Let's be honest. He was a Muslim man. And he is God now. Why this happens? Nobody reads Bhagavad-gītā, no? Oh, maybe he's God. Something will happen if I don't respect him. Put his picture in the altar. Put the mala, everything put. Give money also there. I think the Ram Janmabhoomi, I think Shirdi temple, they did not want to contribute anything, right? Did that happen? Right? Yeah. They did not want to contribute anything. That is their, and they call Sai Ram. Huh? Why Sai and Ram became together? Who is Sai and who is Ram? This is rubbish, nonsense, rascaldom. Okay? Rascaldom. This is what we have to be clear about. This is called ayathavat. When we are not clear, everything and anything comes into the fold of religious life. And what is not religion, what is religion, nobody knows anymore. What is real religion? They will condemn. Oh, you ISKCON people, you are Abrahamic religion. You are only saying Krishna is God only. Or you read Bhagavad-gītā, what you will see there? Krishna is saying, I am the only one God. Not even Shiva and Brahma are close to me. Close to being on my level. He is saying that. Who are you to say that this is not correct? This is today's Hinduism. Today's Hinduism, they don't know anything. They don't know anything. Number one confused religion means Hinduism today. Good for nothing, these people. This is our community right now. And therefore, the rectification of that is that we have to come back to our scriptures. Shastra, yatha shastra vidanoktam karma kartum iharhasi. Open the book and start reading, then you will understand what is what. Tasmat shastram pramanante karya karya vyavasthito gyatva shastra vidhanoktam karma kartum iharhasi. One should therefore understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated. How? From the scriptures we have to understand what is to be done, what is not to be done. And let's see 1832. Adharmam dharmamitiya manyate tamasavrita sarvarthan viparitamscha buddhihi sapartha tamasi. That understanding which considers irreligion to be religion and religion to be irreligion under the spell of illusion and darkness and strives always in the wrong direction, O Partha, is in the mode of ignorance. Now let's see the purport. Intelligence in the mode of ignorance is always working the opposite of the way it should. It accepts religions which are not actually religions and rejects actual religion. Men in ignorance understand a great soul to be a common man and accept a common man as a great soul. Hello, Shirdi Sai Baba. I'll keep on reiterating that point. Not only him, many are there, all over. Today, Sadguru is also there, no? Great soul, so called. What is great about him? He doesn't believe in God. That is his greatness. Hasn't read one word of the Shastra. Boldly proclaims. And he is great. Great soul. Everybody is hearing him. Even so-called Brahmins are hearing him. All rascals. Men in ignorance understand a great soul to be, and actually when a soul is actual great soul, Mahatma, they will consider him an ordinary man. An ordinary man, they put him in Mahatma, Gandhi. What was he? He destroyed like anything India, honestly. So much damage he has done. And then he is Mahatma now. Just because what? Political. That is the exact opposite of today's verse. Yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kuruṣva mad-arpaṇam. You do any tapasya, you do it for me, Kṛṣṇa is saying. He did tapasya for country. He fasted until death for stupid reasons. For absolutely stupid reasons he fasted. And that fast also did not do anything. A sentimental, fervor he created. In fact, those fasts actually did damage. Let's be very honest. If you know the real story of what happened with his history. They think truth to be untruth and accept untruth as truth. In all activities, they simply take the wrong path. Therefore, their intelligence is in the mode of ignorance. It's very dangerous. Very dangerous. This is what happened. This is a classic example of an ordinary man being accepted as God. This happened during the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. 500 something years ago. This happened. What happened? He had a personal servant called Balabhadra Bhattacharya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, when he went to Vrindavan, was it Vrindavan? Was it Puri? Vrindavan, right? He went to Vrindavan. Yeah, he was the one who accompanied him in the Jharkhand forest and all that. He was the one who noted, right? So, this Balabhadra Bhattacharya, at that time villagers all started, hey, Every night we can see Krishna Lila, the Kalya Daman. What is this pastime is going on? Krishna, this pastime, he was dancing on the Kalya snake and chastised the Kalya. So they're saying Krishna every day is giving darshan in the night. You can see in the waters, you can see Krishna dancing on the Kalya. And everybody was, yeah. Everybody started saying, yeah, we are also seeing that. What is that actually? It was a fisherman. He was a fisherman. He was fishing in the night. You can actually see when I went to Kurukshetra many years ago, like 14 years ago, in Srikakulam there, Andhra. So we went to Kurukshetra there, and there used to be fishermen, and they go out in the night fishing, and they go miles into the sea to hunt. Fish to fish. So, and in the daytime they come back with a boatload of fish. So this fisherman, he was going and he had a lamp, and they were saying that the lamp, far away, he was saying, that lamp is actually the jewel head of Kalya. And the fisherman, that is Krishna, Krishna. Everybody saying we are taking Krishna's darshan, Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, he was sitting there, not there, another place in his. So people used to come to him in droves and then say, we have seen Krishna, yesterday he gave darshan. This Balabhadra Bhattacharya, who was a personal servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he got excited. Then he asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I also want to go and see Krishna. He said this. Bhattacharya tave kahe prabhur charane, agnya deho jai kori Krishna darshane. At that time, Balabhadra Bhattacharya placed a request at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, please give me permission to go see Lord Krishna directly. Purport. The puzzled people who visited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were actually seeing Lord Krishna, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Krishna. They were telling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that we saw Krishna. Actually, they were seeing Krishna when they were telling him. But they were mistaken in thinking that Lord Krishna had come to Kalya lake. They all said that they had seen Krishna directly performing his pastimes on the hoods of the serpent Kalya, and that the jewels on Kalya's hoods were blazing brilliantly. Because they were speculating with their imperfect knowledge, they saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as an ordinary human being and a boatman's light in the lake as Krishna. This is just now, 1832. Opposite. Great man is a great soul, a common man is a great soul. And God as ordinary man is a God. This is problem. Tapasyasi, because no knowledge. One must see, this is the important thing. One must see things as they are through the mercy of a spiritual master, Guru. Otherwise, if one tries to see Krishna directly, he may mistake an ordinary man for Krishna or Krishna for an ordinary man. Everyone has to see Krishna according to the verdict of Vedic literatures presented by the self-realized spiritual master. A sincere person is able to see Krishna through the transparent via medium of Sri Gurudev, the spiritual master. Unless one is enlightened by the knowledge given by the spiritual master, he cannot see things as they are, even though he remains constantly with the spiritual master. Again, let's kind of highlight that. Physical proximity is not the thing. You have to actually hear. Unless one is enlightened by the knowledge given by the spiritual master, he cannot see things as they are, even though he remains constantly with the spiritual master. So therefore, we emphasize so much on reading. Please read Prabhupada's books. Read. Because even if we are in the association of devotees, staying in temple, everything we can do, still we will not see things as they are. Still we will be confused, still we will be bewildered. Unless we are enlightened by the knowledge. See, even though he remains constantly with the spiritual master, he cannot. This incident at Kalya Daha is very instructive for those eager to advance in Krishna consciousness. Then you see what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. Tabe tare kahe Prabhu chapad marya. What he did? Chapad marya. Tight slap he gave. Murkher vakya murkha hoila pandit hoya. When Balabhadra Bhattacharya asked to see Krishna at Kalya Daha, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mercifully slapped him. Mercifully slap means, like that. No. Mercifully slap means tight slap until whole existence is shaken. That is how he was slapped. That is mercy, because then he has to come out of his illusion. No? That is merciful slapping. You are a learned scholar, but you have become a fool being influenced by the statements of other fools. So you see, Maya is so strong that even a person like Balabhadra Bhattacharya, who was constantly staying with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was influenced by the words of fools. He wanted to see Krishna directly by going to Kalyadaha, but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being the original spiritual master, would not allow his servant to fall into such foolishness. He therefore chastised him, slapping him just to bring him to a real sense of Krishna consciousness. You see then, Krishna kene darshan dibe kali kale, nija bhrame murkha loka kore kolahale. So why would Krishna appear in the age of Kali? Foolish people who are mistaken are simply causing agitation and making a tumult. He is now teaching. Krishna will not come in the Kali Yuga. Or even if he comes, he will not assert himself as God. If somebody is asserting himself as God in Kali Yuga, immediately you take him as dog. He's a dog. He doesn't deserve any respect at all. We have to be very clear about this. We cannot be, no, people will be offended. We don't care about people offended. As there is a saying by one Christian preacher, I think Saint Augustine or something. He said, if the world is against the truth, then I am against the world. That is how we should be. It's not that, the whole world is there. No, how can we say? No, if the world is against the truth, then I am against the world. I'll stand for the truth despite all opposition. That is actual surrender, bravery. Foolish people who are mistaken are simply causing agitation and making a tumult. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's first statement, Krishna kene darshan dibe kalikale, refers to the scriptures. According to scripture, Krishna appears in Dwapara Yuga, but he never appears as himself in Kali Yuga. Rather, he appears in Kali Yuga in a covered form. Channavatar, hidden incarnation. There are two incarnations in Kali Yuga. Buddha and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, both are hidden. Both are hidden incarnations. They do not assert themselves as God. Of course, Kalki comes, then he revives Satya Yuga again. That is the end of. Then he, of course, comes as Supreme Personality and with a sword in his hand on the horse and just no preaching anymore. Then behead everybody. That's it. Behead everyone. There's no point even talking to these idiots. Behead everyone. All rascals. And the thing is, when Krishna kills, he will get moksha. So it is not that, what is this? How can God do like this? Yeah, he can do anything. Yeah? Don't question God. Rather, he appears in Kali Yuga in a covered form. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam. Krishna appears in the age of Kali in the garb of a devotee, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who always associates with his internal soldiers, Sri Advaita Prabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Srivas Prabhu, and Gadadhar Prabhu. Although Balabhadra Bhattacharya was personally serving Lord Krishna in his role as a devotee, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he mistook Lord Krishna for an ordinary man and an ordinary man for Lord Krishna, because he did not follow the rules set down by Shastra and Guru. And this is what is happening in Hinduism today. So whatever we do, whatever we donate, we should not donate to temples which are not preaching. We should not donate to pseudo temples like our Shirdi Sai Baba, Satya Sai Baba. All these are pseudo. Nothing to do with our religion at all. Sanatana Dharma. We should give up. And openly, vocally say this. Be bold enough to say, because there will be a lot of backlash. That is for sure. I think many of you know. I said Sadhguru is a rascal. And one of our devotees, like this in the lecture only, I was saying that. And then he made a short, YouTube shorts, those Instagram reels and all that. So he made this less than 1 minute, that video, vertical video, put up. I think 3 million views on that one. And everybody with negative comments. I love that. Because honestly, what is this? At least they have heard something, some truth. But whether they like it or not, that's another thing. Truth has to be spoken, whether it is popular or unpopular. Today, Hindus, what is actually religious, they don't even follow. For example, abortion is something which is not even considered by Hindus as a subject to even discuss. At least in Christianity, they are vocal about no abortion. And Hindus are very much into, women's rights. What's woman's right? So child has no right. Such women actually rot in hell. They have to go to wombs and be killed in the same way next lives. They do not even know. That is not woman's liberation, that is woman's entanglement. That is entanglement of women. Woman's liberation means get moksha, give the woman moksha. How to get moksha? Become devotee, chaste wife, mother, raise the children in Krishna consciousness. This is the way a woman will actually become liberated. But no, their woman's liberation means do all sinful activities. Women should have all freedom to do sinful activities. I should have the freedom to kill my child. What rubbish is that? That is demonic, rakshasi. That is called rakshasi. I don't call them mothers, murderers. They're not mothers, they're murderers. But nobody even talks about this as if it's nothing to do. Our Shastra says, our Srimad Bhagavatam says, our Markandeya Puran, clear description is given on how the child develops in the womb of the mother. This is our religion. We have given up. Given up completely. So what is to be done? What is not to be done? What is to be feared? What is not to be? They don't fear anymore. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. There is a saying, right? What is the meaning? Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. Angels may fear to tread a certain, what do they fear, angels? A sinful way of life. But the fools, that is why they are called daredevils. They are devils who dare to do things which should not be done. It's an apt phrase. Daredevils. They're actually devils. We should not dare to do sinful activities. I think many years back, there was a show X Factor. I think in India there is some version of this. What is it? Khatron Ka Khiladi. Is that? No, there is this program like that, no? Something daring something. So there is this. I think in America, in that show, you know what he had to do? They had to do? Eat. First, they were given first round, all worms. You must eat live worms, alive, crawling. They have to take, they have to put their hand in this whole pot of thousands and millions of worms around. They have to take it and eat. First round, second round, and final round. What was not final round or what round? The eye of the cow. The eyeball of a cow. He has to put it and eat. What kind of thing? And he was, one guy, he was just like nothing, as if he was showing off that he was, macho and all that. So they do not know what to fear anymore. We have to fear these things. These are all sinful, but we don't even fear. What we speak of all those things, we don't have to go that far. Every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner is sin. Breakfast is a sin, lunch is a sin, dinner is a sin. Eating rubbish nonsense, killing animals, eating them. So how can we, advance like that? And we all hope for a very happy Deepavali, happy Janmashtami, happy New Year, happy this, happy that, and I absolutely don't care for any happiness for others. The animals, let them die. My tongue is more important than their life. It doesn't matter. If I live like that, Krishna also knows how to do these things to us. So our life will be similarly treated, and we will face all kinds of tribulations in this life, next life. It will be unending, and we will keep on questioning. Why, if I am doing good, everything bad is happening to me? What good you are doing? What good are you doing? Every day eating rubbish nonsense. What is that? Bhojana. Shastra. Apishthāye durāchāra deva brahmana nindakāha apathya bhojanāstesham akale maranam dhruvam. Want to have a quick death? For persons who are papishtha, very sinful, and durachara, misbehaved or very unclean in their habits, who are against the existence of God, deva brahmana nindakaha. I think you can understand. who disrespect Vaishnavas and Brahmanas and who eat anything and everything, apatya bhojanas tesham. That means they have no boundaries in eating. Anything and everything goes. Untimely death is sure. Untimely death is sure. So when there is some natural disasters and all, why these things happen? Why these things happen? They're not some accidental atmospheric, conditions. Some air came and typhoon and no. They're completely under the minutest control of the Lord. Okay, every single ant that is being killed in the typhoon is under the control of the Lord. The Lord knows exactly what He's doing. And when these things hit us, and war hits us, these things when they come, we asked for it. We asked for it. We want peace for ourselves at the cost of everybody else's peace. That is what we want. That is law of karma does not allow that. So these are some of the things. So yat karoṣi, yad aśnāsi, whatever we eat. What is that? What is that? What is that? Akala mrityu haranam, yes. Sarva vyadhi vinashanam Vishnoh padodakam pitva shirasa dharayamyaham. Yes, this is a mantra for Charanamrita. So akala mrityu haranam. By taking Charanamrita, we will not get untimely death. And actually, here honestly everything is untimely in this material world. That means one gets eternal life. Vishnoh padodakam pitva shirasa dharayamyaham. So that is how we have to take Krishna prasadam. So the thing that Krishna said, that whatever you do, whatever you offer, whatever you give away, do it as an offering to me. Uddhava as a devotee. Now this is Krishna as God who is saying, do this, do this, do this. And Uddhava as devotee said like this. Tvayopabhukta sraggandha vaso lankara charchitaha uchishta bhojino dāsas tava mayam jayemahi. Simply by decorating ourselves with the garlands, fragrant oils, clothes and ornaments that you have already enjoyed, that means prasad, and by eating the remnants of your meals, we, your servants, will indeed conquer your illusory energy. By doing this, we will conquer his illusory energy. Very simple program. Although this is so complicated, the material world, samsara, we'll say, oh, this is so complicated life. Yeah, actually, it is complicated as long as we don't take to this path. But actually, the solution is very simple. We just have to do everything. We are only secondary enjoyers after Krishna. We can have prasadam. We are not saying that, don't eat. Don't do this, don't. No, do everything. But in relation with Krishna. Yat karoṣi. So whatever you do. So in the Bhagavatam, in the Vishnu Sahasranam also it is there. Slightly different version of it. Kayena vacha manasendriyairva buddhyatmana vanusruta svabhavat karoti yadyat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayetat. In accordance with what is the meaning? Many people chant Vishnu Sahasranam. Don't know what it means. Simply chant. In accordance with the particular nature one has acquired in conditioned life, whatever one does with body, words, mind, senses, intelligence or purified consciousness, one should offer to the Supreme, thinking this is for the pleasure of Lord Narayan. Just like Arjuna, he was a fighter. He used his fighting skill for the pleasure of Krishna. He did not personally want to fight with his cousins. Why did he end up fighting? Because Krishna wanted him to do so. Karishe vachanam tava. I will do whatever you say, I will fight. So his talent he used in Krishna's service. So whatever we have, we should use in Krishna's service. And a perfect example of a person who did everything is Ambarish Maharaj. Just before we go there, you see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction. Krishnarthe akhila cheshta. All our activities should be Krishnarthe, for the satisfaction of Krishna. One should perform all endeavors for Krishna. Krishnarthe akhila cheshta. Ambarish Maharaj did like that. Savai mana Krishna padaravindayor vachamsi vaikunta gunanuvarnane karo harer mandiramarjanadishu shrutim chakarachuta satkathodaya mukundalingālaya darshane drisho tadhritya gatra sparshenga sangamam घ्राणं च तत्पाद सरोज सौरभे श्रीमत्तुलस्या रसनां तदर्पिते पादौ हरेः क्षेत्र पदानुसर्पणे शिरो हृषीकेश पदाभिवन्दने कामं च दास्येन तु कामकाम्यया यथोत्तम श्लोक जनाश्रया रतिः. Maharaj Ambarish always engaged his mind in meditating upon the lotus feet of Krishna, his words in describing the glories of the Lord, his hands in cleansing the Lord's temple, his ears in hearing the words spoken by Krishna or about Krishna. He engaged his eyes in seeing the deity of Krishna, Krishna's temples and Krishna's places like Mathura and Vrindavan. He engaged his sense of touch in touching the bodies of the Lord's devotees. He engaged his sense of smell in smelling the fragrance of tulsi offered to the Lord. And he engaged his tongue in tasting the Lord's prasad. He engaged his legs in walking to the holy places and temples of the Lord, his head in bowing down before the Lord, and all his desires in serving the Lord 24 hours a day. Indeed, Maharaj Ambarish never desired anything for his own sense gratification. He engaged all of his senses in devotional service and various engagements related to the Lord, Krishnarthya Akhila Cheshta. This is the way to increase attachment for the Lord and be completely free from all material desires. So this is a practical example of today's verse. Practical example of a devotee actually living like this. Last couple of verses before we close. Yat Krishna pranipata dhuli dhavalam tadvarshma tadvaishiras tenetre tamasojjite suruchire yabhyam harir drishyate sa buddhir vimalendu shankha dhavala ya madhavadhyayini sa jihvamrita varshini pratipadam ya stauti narayanam. That head is the loftiest, which is white with dust from bowing down to Lord Krishna. Those eyes are the most beautiful, which darkness has abandoned after they have seen Lord Hari. That intelligence is spotless like the white glow of the moon or a conch shell, which concentrates on Lord Madhava. And that tongue rains down nectar, which constantly glorifies Lord Narayana. So this is the perfection of our sensory activities. सावाग्यया तस्य गुणान् गृणीते करौ च तत्कर्म करौ मनश्च स्मरेद्वसन्तं स्थिरजङ्गमेषु शृणोति तत्पुण्यकथाः सकर्णः. Actual speech is that which describes the qualities of the Lord. Real hands are those that work for Him. A true mind is that which always remembers Him, dwelling within everything moving and non-moving. And actual ears are those that listen to sanctifying topics about Him. शिरस्तु तस्यो भयलिङ्गमानमेत् तदेव यत् पश्यति तद्धि चक्षुः अङ्गानि विष्णोरथ तज्जनानां पादोदकं यानि भजन्ति नित्यम्. An actual head is one that bows down to the Lord in His manifestations among the moving and non-moving creatures. Real eyes are those that see only the Lord, and actual limbs are those which regularly honor the water that has bathed the Lord's feet or those of His devotees. So these are the activities, pure activities of the senses. So we have to live our life like this. Then our life will be perfect. Our life will not be perfect by going to the moon. Please don't celebrate. All Indians, even devotees, are celebrating Chandrayaan nonsense. Honestly, even, you see, when they went to Chandra, what did they see? Some dust, some barren land, and they're very happy about it. Then you go to Sahara Desert, do the same thing. Now, why are you going to the moon and doing this? Go to Sahara Desert. Why? How excited are you when you go to Sahara Desert? Nothing there, right? Why are they so excited? It's just a hype. Even if, and another thing, um, the downfall of the Indians, the Hindus. What is that? In all our religious scriptures, I mean in Vedas, we have heard that Chandralok is full of heavenly pleasures. Somaras is there. Somaras, forget about Somaras. Water is also not there. So, are we questioning these things or not? Why are Indians very proud? Oh, we have reached the moon. Where is that Somaras that we are talking about? Where is that? Why is it not there? Are our scriptures false? They have already given up on the scriptures. They say, that is all anyway mythology. That one is all just to fairy tales only. The reality is this, that the barren land is the actual moon. But actually, we cannot see the real moon. They may go there. Like, I will tell you one thing. In Bhagavatam, the Himalayan mountains are said to be 80,000 miles high. Now, we know Himalaya as Mount Everest as 5 miles high. 5.5 miles, 8.8 kilometers. That's all we know. But it said 80,000 miles high. What happened to the rest of it? It's even beyond our vision even. So we think we know, and we kind of, we are able to see everything. We can't. In Bhagavad-gītā, we are saying that, Paramatma is in the heart. Now, the heart surgeon opens the heart and he finds nothing there. He finds blood vessels and arteries, and he's doing bypass surgery there. No Paramatma there. So, should we now believe our scriptures or should we not? Because our experience is not tallying with the words of the Bhagavad-gītā. So, which should we accept? No, seeing is believing. Why Bhagavad-gītā? I am seeing, nothing is there, so nothing is there. What if I am blind? I am actually blind. I cannot see many things. I cannot see my own mind. So since I cannot see your mind, you cannot see your own mind. Can I conclude that you have no mind? How will you feel? Then you will get angry. Hey, then prove you have mind. Show me. Cannot show. So there are many things which we can't see. Ghosts, for example, they have subtle bodies. Devatas are way higher than the ghosts. They are not going to be visible like you and me. The sun is full of life, we know from Bhagavad-gītā. Kṛṣṇa spoke to the sun god. Now after Chandrayaan, they are doing Aditya L1. Already launched, I think. Yeah. Aditya L1 spacecraft launched to examine the sun, study the sun. If you want to study the sun, read Bhagavad-gītā. Kṛṣṇa said, I spoke to the sun god. Here is Aditya. So they are not even questioning anymore. They say, we have science, proud Chandrayaan. ISKCON temples are congratulating them. Appalling. Shameful. What to speak of this Chandrayaan mission? Even Bhagavad-gītā says, what it says? What is this? Yamimam pushpitam vacham. Hare Krishna. She's also excited. Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipaschitaha vedavadarata partha nanyad astiti vadinaha. You see, you know what is this avipaschitaha means? Fools, those who are not intelligent. You know what they do? Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommends various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, result in good birth, power and so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. These kinds of people actually do karmakanda yajnas, and they actually go to the moon to associate with the people there. Still they are condemned in Bhagavad-gītā. Even if you can actually contact, they say aliens, some horrific looking faces. No, Chandra, they are very, very beautiful. We are horrific looking compared to them. We are scary looking actually. They are extremely beautiful in Chandralok. And tell me, the moon is so white. So white. How can they bring black dust from the moon and say that this is the moon? What are they even collecting? From where they are collecting? In 1969, they brought some rocks. First of all, they never went. How can man go to the moon? Now, in 2023, they landed something and they're very happy. That time they landed and launched from there and came back here. Imagine launching from the moon and getting it right the first time. Now Elon Musk is launching satellites and they're failing left, right, center. That is how any start would be in any kind of endeavor, right? This kind of frontier kind of endeavor. But we will go there and come back. Child's play. And you want me to believe that 1969 hopeless computer technology, they went and came back. I mean, good luck trying to convince us. Anyway, they brought some black rock. Now you tell me, anybody knows white light, how can it come from black rock? Tell me, even if it reflects, how can the black even reflect something? No brains at all. I mean, nobody's even questioning anything. Happy, very happy. Oh, we have landed on the southern pole. So what have we achieved? Collecting some rocks there and then that thing will be there. I don't know where actually they went also. It doesn't look like any of the description of a moon planet from our Shastra. And we have full faith in our Shastra. This is science. The creator is telling how it is. So there are subtle, we cannot even see these realms. Like for example, I tell you, the Pandavas at the end of Mahabharata. Oh, time has gone. Okay, Pandavas at the end of Mahabharata, they walked to the Himalayas, right? All the 5 of them along with Draupadi. And from there they ascended to heaven. You go now to the Himalayas and go there, China you will go there. Border fight, you will be embroiled in that fight and be killed there. So, where is that? Where is that heavenly thing? Mythology? No, there are subtle realms which we can't access from here. Vyasadeva is said to be still there. Madhvacharya went and visited him in Badrinath. Now you go to Badrinath, you will not find Vyasadeva. Mythology? No. There is Uttara Badri. There are 5 Badris, which are only one is accessible to us, or 1 or 2. But the Uttara Badri is in the subtle realm, which is not even accessible to humans. Even Madhvacharya, his disciple Satyatirtha was with him. He could not go. He was left behind in Badrinath. Only Madhvacharya could jump into the other realms and meet actually Vyasadeva. So there are things which we don't even understand. We don't even understand these things. There are yogis who travel in 1 hour, all the Chardham Yatra they do. Badrinath, Jagannath Puri, Rameshwaram and Dwarka, and then they bathe in all the places and come back to their cave in the Himalayas within 1 hour and their hair is wet and everything. They can do that. They can move on sunlight. They can just take sunlight and then the rays of the sun and then just move on the sun rays. These kind of yogic perfections, we don't even know these sciences. Unimaginable today. So this is the reason why we celebrate these things, because we don't know actually what is right and what is wrong. Okay, even if they went to the moon and actually met Chandradev and handshake with him, is that even a success? We have to go to Golok Vrindavan. Don't even be distracted with this. What did Krishna say? Abrahma bhuvanal lokan punaravartino arjuna. 8:16. This is what happens when you don't read Bhagavad-gītā. You'll congratulate India winning the World Cup, going to the moon, weightlifting champion, something, some gold medals in Olympics. Abrahma bhuvanal loka punaravartino arjuna mamupete tu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery. So even if you go to the moon, it's only a place of misery. Ultimately. Wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kuntī, never takes birth again. So when we are aiming to go to Golok Vrindavan, somebody has gone to only moon, we are clapping. Well done. Why? So you have no faith in your own journey of going to Golok Vrindavan. Our journey is far more superior to all this Chandrayaan nonsense. It is not a moment of pride, it's a moment of shame, honestly. India is meant to show the world how to go to Vaikuntha, not moon. That's why we have to have knowledge. So, okay, I'll stop it here. Any questions or comments? You see how much effort it takes to go to the moon. This is tapasya. Yeah, yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kuruṣva mad-arpaṇam. Kṛṣṇa is saying, do that tapasya for me. So that's why it is very important to conduct ourselves on Bhagavad-gītā. It is not like Bhagavad-gītā is, it is a religious thing. Yeah, going to the moon is another thing. Sports is another thing. No, it's all related. And anything other than Krishna consciousness is a sheer waste of time. Sheer waste of time, and we have to expose, and we have to be clear why it is a waste of time, not be conflated with the views that, oh yeah, that is also great, this is also great, everything is great, everybody is great. No, everybody is not. Krishna is saying no. Only those who come to me, they are great, Mahatma. So why are we confused? Why are we enamored by these things? We should not be enamored by these things. All right. Okay, I think we'll stop here. Any questions we can always discuss upstairs. जय श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे।